Hey y'all, in this lesson we're going to look at solving multi-step inequalities. By the end of this lesson we want to be able to say that I can solve inequalities that involve multiple steps. Let's take a look. This is a quick reminder that solving multi-step inequalities will be similar to solving multi-step equations. You may need to use the distributive property, combine like terms, and use inverse relationships and properties to solve them. Our essential question is, how is solving a multi-step inequality similar to and different from solving a multi-step equation? So it's very much like our questions from lessons 1 through 3. And we're going to go ahead and start by looking at a word problem of sorts. We are going to write and solve a multi-step inequality. This lovely lady is Gabriella. She likes to make people guess her age. She gives them this clue, which I've also written out in your notes. Add 13 to the product of 3 and the sum of my age and 2. And you get a number greater than my height in inches. What are the possible ages for Gabriella? Graph the solution. Well, the first thing we need to do is write an inequality to represent Gabriella's age. So we're going to start piece by piece. Add 13. All right, add 13 to the product of 3 and, so it's going to be 3 and something that we're multiplying. The and is the sum of my age and 2. So we have age plus 2. You get a number that's greater than my height in inches. So here is the full setup taken one piece at a time. Again, feel free to go back and rewatch that if you need to look at each piece individually. And we're going to use X to represent age. I've added in your notes that Gabriella's height is 55 inches, as you can see from the picture here. So when we rewrite this, we're going to use X for age and 55 for height. So we have 3 times X plus 2 plus 13 is greater than 55. This is the inequality we need to solve to figure out what age Gabriella could be. So here again is our starting position. The first thing we want to do is distribute 3 to the x and the 2. So 3 times x is how we get 3x, and 3 times 2 is how we get 6. So we've gotten rid of our parentheses. From here, we want to combine like terms. In this case, we have a 6 and a 13, which will add together to get 19. So now we have 3x plus 19 is greater than 55. Now it is a 2-step inequality like we saw how to do in lesson 3. In this case, I will subtract 19 from both sides. This will leave me with 3x is greater than 36, and I can divide by 3 to get that x is greater than 12. It wants me to graph the solution as well. So on a number line, I'm going to find 12. I will have an open circle at 12 and an arrow drawn to the right, indicating those numbers that are bigger. This means, for Gabriella's age, that Gabriella is more than 12 years old. Doesn't give us an exact amount because she didn't tell us that it's equal to, but it does tell us that she is older than 12. So we wrote our inequality. We used distribution and combining like terms, and then solved a 2-step inequality. You try one similar to this. Here we have twice the difference. Difference, what does that mean? Subtraction of Felipe's age and 4 is at least 2. So fill in your notes, writing the inequality, using the distributive property, and solving the inequality. To write the inequality, as we saw, we'll have 2, the difference of Felipe's age and 4, so the difference of f minus 4 is at least, which means that that has to be greater than or equal to 2. When we distribute it, they already give us the 2f. We'll have minus 8 because 2 times minus 4 is minus 8. And now we solve it. Add 8 to both sides and divide by 2. So we get that Felipe's age is greater than or equal to 5. We'll have a closed circle at 5, and then greater than are the numbers to the right. Let's look at one more multi-step inequality. So we have this big inequality. 3 times 4 minus 6 plus 2 is greater than or equal to 2 times the quantity of negative t plus 3 plus 4. And then graph it. The first thing we want to do is simplify both sides of our inequality. So if we simplify the left side, we have here 3 times 4 minus 6 plus 2. Our order of operations tells us to do 4 minus 6 first. So 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So now we have 3 times negative 2 plus 2. We'll do our multiplying, and that gives us negative 6 plus 2. And finally we add, and that gives us negative 4. So I know that on the left side, this really just simplifies down to negative 4. On the right side, I have 2 times negative t plus 3 plus 4. I'll distribute the 2, so 2 times negative t is negative 2t, and 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 2t is not going to combine with anything because there's no other t's, but 6 plus 4 is 10. So I have negative 4 on the left, and simplified the right is negative 2t plus 10. Simplifying these pieces separately now shows that I'm left with a two-step inequality. So this is really something very easy. If it helps you to do these steps separate, like I've shown on this slide, then do that. From here, we're going to solve a two-step inequality. We are going to subtract 10 from both sides, and then divide by negative 2. When I divide by that negative number, I'm going to flip my inequality so it becomes less than instead of greater than. So I have that 7 is less than or equal to t, which means that t is greater than or equal to 7. So on my number line, I'm going to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to have a filled in point here. And then greater than is to the right. So this is the graph for this inequality. Here is your opportunity to try solving a couple of inequalities and graphing them on your own. Try these problems on your own. Press play when you're ready to see the answers. For our top inequality, we get the answer if x is less than or equal to negative 6, which means we do need to fill in some numbers along the number line. We'll have a closed circle at negative 6 and an arrow pointing to the left. For the second one, when we end up solving this, we get x is greater than or equal to 2 over 13, which as a decimal is about 0.1538. So here you can see my number line goes from 0 to 1. So I know that this is 0, this is 0.1, this is 0.2, 0.15 is going to be about halfway between those. It's a closed-in circle because I have the or equal to, and then it's going to be an arrow to the right for greater than. Here is our very quick summary. Solving a multi-step inequality is similar to solving a multi-step equation. You may need to use the distributive property, combining like terms, and inverse relationships and properties in order to solve them. Here's one last show of a multi-step inequality showing distribution, then adding to both sides, dividing on both sides, and graphing the answer. Your next steps are to submit your 4.4 notes, complete your 4.4 practice on Schoology, and take your 4.4 mastery check. There's one more lesson. Good luck, and I'll see you there.